Well, it says that we're live, so I'm going to believe what my computer's telling me. And welcome to the Medium channel. Thank you for being here. And if you just happen to stumble upon this video and you were drawn to it, well, there's no coincidences. We welcome you to this community where we explore the spirituality behind the message and the art of mediumship and channeling. So welcome. And I'm in a good mood, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I haven't even had breakfast yet, so none of you all have any excuse to not be in a good mood this morning. And the sun's even peeking out a little bit. It started out very, very cold and gray, and it's in the 40s now. So anyway, yeah, happy Sunday, and welcome Judy, Michelle, Yvonne, MT, and Susan, and all the other people that are going to come in. So if you're coming in as a video, I'm going to start in just a minute or two. I just want to give the live people a minute or two to get their notifications and to find us and to come here. One more person found us. Hi, Jody. So it's all good. Where to start? Where to begin? Well, firstly, again, thank you everybody for being here, and thank you for being part of this amazing growing community. And I've got some really amazing stuff coming up the end of this month and in December. So I'll explain a little bit. So I'm just gonna say a couple more hellos because people are finding us. So hi Carla, hi Marlo or Marla, Mar. Anyway, hi Jody. Good morning. Oh gosh. So as people are still coming in, I wanted to talk a little bit about morning routines. I haven't talked about that for a while, but I'm really, really big on morning routines, spiritual morning routines, and daily routines and evening routines. It may be because I'm Mercury and Virgo. I don't know that I can be a little bit regimented and structured, but I'm a Libra. I've got an Aquarius moon, a Sagittarius rising. So we've got all the spontaneous energy going on also. So, and I've actually had to modify my morning routine since I injured my back a couple months ago. So I wasn't able to do some of the breath work and the yoga work that I normally do. It's getting better now, thank goodness for that. I might even be able to clean my house finally. But I'll start out just by getting very present and meditating. Um, I like to start out with doing a breath technique that Joe Dispenza coined as supernatural breathing that I actually learned in yoga training also, where you kind of squeeze the lower chakras and bring the energy to the crown. Of course, if you do that, always ground as well. I like to do that. I like to get into deep presence, do my heart-brain coherence to start out the day. Now, reason that morning routines are so important is that sets the template for your whole day. And are you going to start your day and set the template of going on Facebook, getting really irritated by the comments, or your BFF decided to block you today, although he or she will probably add you again tomorrow? Like, do you want to start your day with drama and with electromagnetic frequencies? Or do you want to go into your heart? Do you want to go into love and compassion and make that the template of your day? That's why I'm in a good mood. I have a very busy schedule. I did readings all afternoon. I woke up dead tired, but as soon as I went into my morning routine and went into my meditation, so I do presence and heart brain coherence is what I'm doing now in the morning. And if you have we talk a lot about and teach about meditation and presence here, and if you really have a hard time shutting your mind off, which a lot of people do, and the mind races, or you get anxiety, or you fall asleep, you just can't do it. The secret is focus on your heart center, because you can't think when you're focused on the heart. It's literally impossible to do that, because the heart has its own measure of intelligence, and it's an energetic intelligence born out of compassion and love. So that would be advice number one. Just focus on the heart, and then your thoughts are going to stop. And if you interject high on gratitude, appreciation, and love, just for the present moment, just for the now, then your heart and your brain sync. Your brain locks into the heart frequency, and that's when the magic begins. That's what heart brain coherence really is. And then you access spirit. So it's like that divine triad between heart, crown, and spirit. Like maiden, mother, crone for the pagans and Wiccans, and for the Christians, it's Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But in a lot of different traditions, they talk about the three and the one, and the one and the three. So if you do your heart brain work, then you start to sink into that magic of three, like when Nicholas Tesla said, if you understand the beauty of the 3, 6, and 9, you understand the universe. So 3, 6 is 3 plus 3, 9 is 3 times 3. So anyway, and then after I do that for about an hour, that's when I hit that cold shower. People think I'm so freaking crazy. It could be 20 below out there, and I'm going to do my 3-minute cold shower. And this time of year, a cold shower is ice water here in the Catskill Mountains. And, I do Kundalini yoga. This Kundalini yogis get up I don't get up at like 4 a.m, but they get up and they do a 3-minute cold shower to start their morning sadhanas. Then I studied with a shaman from Peru, from Machu Picchu, and he advocated doing cold showers. And I learned about Wim Hof, and he's all about like cold plunging. Like, you can learn so much from the cold, and the objective, if I can get into that shower, and it's got to be about 40 degrees, the water now, because I'll get in and my bones hurt, and my legs and my hands get numb from the water. But if you can get there and you can regulate your breathing, that's the key, because when you hit the cold, it's like you tense up. But if you can override that physical reaction to the cold and just get into your power, get into your chi, feel the flow, then you can relax into the cold. So anyway, for me, maybe not for you, but for me, this is a really powerful morning routine. Then I'll do my yoga. Again, I'm doing very, very light stretching now, so I'm getting better. And then I spend my day serving spirit, doing readings or doing videos or teaching or whatever I'm going to do. So anyway, again, people think I'm stark raving mad when I talk about cold showers and actually like talk about it like I can't wait for my next ice cold shower first thing in the morning after meditating under my warm covers. Anyhow, lots and lots going on. I have my ephemeris here because I was just looking at December the 1st. I was like, oh my God, December's coming in quite a flurry. So next Thursday, this coming Thursday, both Venus and Mars are going to be opposition, and Mercury and Neptune are going to be squaring, and we have the Uranus and Saturn squares still active, and then the moon is forming all kinds of squares and alignments with different planets that day. So, it's going to be a bumpy ride into December. And we talked about, late fall. Like, if you remember my 2022 forecast back almost a year ago when I made it, we highlighted November and December. Honestly, it's been interesting, but maybe not quite as severe as I had predicted. But, the idea is we want to prepare for any possible scenarios. And then through collective consciousness, we can start to adjust and change the timelines. Like, we could do this the easy way or the hard way, basically. But either way, humanity is going to evolve. Either way, the frequencies are going to increase on the planet. Either way, we're going to change and we're going to grow. So are we going to resist and really hold on to those old ways? Or are we going to open our hearts, open our minds, and embrace the change, embrace the growth? Even though growth can be very painful, spirituality, people like, oh yeah, meditate, it's so beautiful, become one with source. And if you really have that belief, you haven't really dove deep into spirituality. It's about getting your hands dirty. It's like going to the muck and mire. It's really about changing your whole programming. Getting it's not easy work. And the thing is, what we want to do is spirituality, it's about decrease. We want to shed the layers of conditioning, of programming, of ancestral pain, of collective pain, of our own individual pain bodies, and all that kind of stuff. It's still a beautiful process, and meditation and incense are still part of it. But the thing is, if you really want to develop, and I don't think we have a choice. Well, we do, but anybody that's attracted to the medium channel, you don't have a choice. You're here because you want to grow and you want to be part of conscious community. So anyhow, 1111, yippee, hooray! And 11 is the lion's muscles with clenched fists in Chaldean numerology. So 11 is that very spiritual number that helps us to overcome the lower natures of our lives and our existences in the world around us. And how do we do that? We sync the heart and the mind, and we blend with spirit. That's how we do it. And then we start to tap into our spirit guides, our angels, those that have crossed over, our extraterrestrial guides, who are also our spirit guides. And on that note, I've got some cool things that are coming up on the channel over the next couple of weeks, if I can remember what they are. Well, Wednesday, I have to double check my schedule, but we're going to do the December forecast. So I do psychic forecasts every month. So we're going to do December. The next week on the full moon, no, what's going on next week? Okay, on Tuesday the 6th, we have Lily Nova, who's going to teach us more about star seeds and the phenomena of extraterrestrials and how they're helping us here on planet Earth. She's going to be on, and she's a very busy lady. So thank you so much, Lily, if you're watching, for doing this with us and sharing with our community. Then on Wednesday the 7th, the full moon. So we do our full moon channeling. And I've got other people lined up. Also today at 5, we have yoga with Doreen of the Children's School of Yoga. So we're going to do that at 5 today. And there's other things. They're not in the book yet. They're kind of in the working, but I've got a few other really amazing speakers and teachers that I'm hoping to have on the channel. So anyhow, let's get into a little bit of tarot stuff. And what we do, we have different divination tools that we work with, and we have a lot of community discussion, because this is sort of a chance where we can talk a little bit about what's going on in the world. Censorships, on YouTube withstanding, also we can only say so much. If you really want to dive deeper, that's where Spirit Mind Family comes in. That's our Patreon group that we do the inner channeling with the master teachers and have our discussion where we don't have to be censored. We can really speak our minds. But has anybody heard of Anthony Fauci? Just to kind of get the conversation rolling on mainstream news. Not on these these internet sites that are really trying to give us the real news behind the mainstream news, because the media is here to serve an agenda, and if you can control the thinking of a society, you can control that society. So media is really working to control the thinking of the society, as well as other things. So where was I going with that thought? Back to Mr. Fauci. Yes. So it came up on my Yahoo newsfeed, actually, that an article about how a couple of months, like before the pandemic, he had been emailing somebody. We talked about the shift to Sagittarian season, right? About how truths are going to start to surface that have been held. So he kind of came out and said, that he'd emailed basically that the masks were ineffective, but they're going to mandate that anyway. And then there were emails about the lab leak theory of top world virologists stating that it's far more plausible that this came from a lab than from a wet market, especially when there were no infected bats or animals around that wet market and stuff. I mean, nobody's saying that it was definitely a lab leak or a planned attack, a pandemic or whatever. Nobody's really saying that, but it certainly opens up different possibilities, and of course there is some pretty compelling evidence that points in kind of a dark, nefarious direction. I'll put it that way, but but these are things that are starting to come out. There were other things. He's getting ready to retire next month also, and I did a live stream. God, it must have been last March or April, right about Anthony Fauci and about all this stuff. And I think in this year, but maybe into next year, I think more stuff's going to come out about how things were done. They also talked about censorship in this article, and how they had really purposely like censored social media. So so much for free speech, or for a democratic process and solution to a problem. So anyways, so I just figured I'd share that. So let's jump into some tarot. So just in case you guys are wanting to light up the comment stream here, feel free, go for it. Even if you disagree, go for it. We're a community. We're here to explore the truth. We're here to grow spiritually. We're here to connect as community. We're here to survive and thrive together. It doesn't mean we're always going to agree. So any opposing viewpoints, as long as they're expressed in a proper way, respectfully, honorably, considerately, that's fine. You do not have to agree with me to be part of this group. In fact, through honest debate, I've learned a lot, and some of my perspectives and views have changed because people like yourselves have called me out on a few things. I do not mind that at all, just to put that out there. Again, no negativity, but I don't mind that. So let's do a meditation card, and let's see what Spirit's saying for us to focus our spirits and our hearts on this week. Okay. So what does Adam always say? When you're thinking, you're not connecting, and when you're connecting, you're not thinking. I need to stop thinking for a second, don't I? Done. And I found the card. Interesting card to pull. So, I mean, the meaning of the card, sevens are often about we're going more into thought, basically, more into the mind, into intuition and stuff like that. There's a real don't give up message, from this card that I'm seeing. Just just as a base meaning. I'll talk about the meditation, aspect of that in a second. But there's to me, there's a don't give up meaning. It's kind of like seven's a fairly high number because the number cards are ace through 10. So at that point, it's like don't give up. I don't know how. There's another thought that's trying to come through, and it's not. But anyway, that's just me. So let me talk about meditating with tarot then. So the way to do this is, like always, clear your mind, open heart, connect to spirit and source. And then in your mind, this is the Hanson Roberts deck. I'll bring it a little bit closer. You can step into the imagery of my card, or if you have your own tarot card, you can use your card. So you basically, in your mind, you step into the card. This is just the doorway or the window. There's a whole panoramic view that you start to see. As soon as you step into the card, gauge what you're feeling. That's your best energy discerner that there is what are you feeling? And in this society, we've been so numbed. Most people don't feel, and they don't even know it. And then when they start to open their heart and they start to feel on a higher octave level, and this happened to me too, I can share this. It's like, oh my God, how did I go through life with being so numb and not even feeling? And part of the reason is that most of us know a lot of pain growing up, and we are programmed and conditioned to suppress pain. But when you suppress things, it doesn't go anywhere. It goes within, and it vibrates from within, and that frequency creates your reality. So a lot of us, the people that, and I get a lot of opposition when I talk about law of attraction, because a lot of people are like, that's BS or whatever. I've done the affirmations, I've done this, and it's not working. But what a lot of people don't realize is they're still vibrating in what Eckhart Tolle would call the pain body. They're still vibrating in that frequency of suppressed pain and suppressed trauma. So it's like all the affirmations in the world aren't going to move the needle a whole lot until you learn to integrate those shadows and learn to make them your greatest allies and your teacher rather than some suppressed pain and trauma. Remember, we signed up for this. So, and anyway, perhaps because the figure slumped over, perhaps that's going to be the meditation that you go on this week is starting to uncover maybe more and more of your suppressed traumas or issues. Every time I think that I'm finally done, something else will come up. Like any other spiritual process, there's a beginning, and that's right now in this present moment, but there's no ending. It's circular, and there's no circumference to the circle. So all possibilities exist, and it really starts with what you're vibrating, what frequency you're vibrating, and that, because your heart's the center of this whole universe, whatever you're vibrating, the universe is going to respond to you in some way or another. So don't give up. So when you step into the card, gauge what you're feeling. Maybe you'll smell things, because a psychic smelling is a very powerful tool. You'll remember things. You may meet spirit guides. You may meet beings. You may meet energies there. But the idea is step in and what do you feel, and just be in that scene for a little while. So that's what they're saying to meditate on this week. So let's do a 3-card spread now, just to kind of look into the energies of the week. I'm just trying to peek at your comments too a little bit while you're doing this. SMT, Susan is a breath of fresh air now, isn't she? So do we have 2 or 3 Susan now? We usually get 3 Susan now, but I think we only have 2. The new empress in town is saying that we punish, so let's not punish ourselves, right? And again, if the idea is to be conscious. If we're not conscious, these shadows run the show. That's basically the bottom line of it. And we're probably not happy, and we're probably blaming other people for our problems. So, when you shine light on a shadow, it's no longer a shadow, right? It kind of disappears. That's the integration process. So we shine the light of awareness on our shadow aspects, and then they can become our greatest strength and our greatest allies. Reminds me of an old Star Trek episode. There's a reason I having a true starseed come on, because I've always been, since I was a little kid, I've always been into the stars. I always felt I was with someone else. And when I was little, my favorite show was Lost in Space. Yeah, I'm aging myself, but then again, so are all my wrinkles. So it's back in the 60s, right? Lost in Space. Bill Mooney, who remembers that show? Warning, Will Robinson. Warning, Will Robinson. Warning, Will Robinson. Get the talking robot. Then it became Star Trek, and so I love Star Trek. I still do. And there's an episode where basically was it Mirror or I forgot the name of this episode, but basically there was a transport accident. Kirk divided into 2. There was the good Kirk and the really evil Kirk. And the good Kirk was like all love and light, and the evil Kirk just wanted to rape women and booze it up and so forth and so on. But at the end of the day, the good Kirk found he could not be a leader anymore without the bad Kirk, and they had to reintegrate him back into one, back into one. I'm getting chills. Star Trek was so freaking ahead of its time. This was the 1960s. We're talking. Anyhow, so let's do a 3-card spread. It's interesting. I've seen like a triangle in my mind with like a sword in the middle. I think is that the Rosicrucian symbol, or it's one of the magical order symbols, but it's about empowerment also. So I'm not sure exactly what that means, but it's interesting. And sometimes, when I do the 3-card spread, this may resonate with you individually. This may resonate with us as a community, or it may resonate in terms of like current events or stuff like that. But I just got this feeling like somebody like like coming out, in a way of like uh, I don't know if it's like a sexual thing, like coming out as being gay or something like that. But I don't know why that thought came in. I think somebody watching, that's going to be a big issue this week about about things like that, sexuality. It may be like one of your children comes out and says, "I think that I'm gay, mom or dad," or something like that. And anyways, so I'm not thinking, so I can connect and pull the right card, right, Spirit? Are you with me? Are we together? Yeah, yeah, that's John Lennon's in my mind a lot. I am he as you are me, and we are all together, or we are one, right? We're individual manifestations, but we are one. Um, this one, this one, and this one. Here we go. I've got other cards. We're only just beginning. I'm going to try to keep this under an hour. We've only just begun. Okay, so there's a lot of energy in these cards. Let's see. You don't need to see me, but I need to see the cards. So we have the 10 of wands or rods in this deck, the moon card reversed, and the 5 of rods. Now rods, it's fire. So there's a lot of that kind of energy. There's a lot of clashing energy. There's a lot of like the 10 of wands. So as we lead into the week with this card, your tens are reduced to one, but in tarot, 10 has its own meaning also. And it's kind of a completion in a way, even though one itself is more about starting a cycle and a new beginning. So the 10 start and end the cycles basically. And for us as a community, and maybe you can resonate with this, we have to maybe this week discern what responsibilities that we have that are just weighing us down, that aren't worth it, versus what is worth it. So I think there's a little bit of that discernment energy. Now we have a nice waxy moon happening, so it's gaining strength right now. And I think one of the questions comes up is like, what responsibility? Maybe it's more like I'm doing something not necessarily out of what spirit is telling me or guiding me to do, but rather like my own pride or ego, or going out of my way to please somebody else, or to sacrifice my own well-being, to take on more responsibility for somebody else that may not be taking enough responsibility for themselves. Now, everything in balance, right? It's a beautiful thing to be able to be a healer, to be able to help people along. If people are down, to be able to lift them up and to take some of their responsibility. Great thing, but not at the expense of yourself, not at the expense of your health and well-being. So discernment, that feels like a word for the week, discernment. And I think if you discern properly, you're going to have an amazing week and leading to an amazing rest of the year. You remember, we signed up for this. As the world crumbles, a new world will or new society, I should say. The world's not going anywhere, but a new society is going to be rebuilt in its wake on a stronger foundation. So there's a lot of the 16 energy. That's the tower. We didn't pull the tower card today, but there's a lot of that energy around. And I think this month that there's been some sign. I think December, January, we're going to see really a lot of stuff starting to implode, for lack of a better word. Disassemble might be a better word. Now the moon card's really emotional. It's really psychic, but it also worries a lot. So I feel like it's saying that we may get it may not be this week, but I think in the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to get some news or something going on that's really going to be a little bit frightening, whether it's about things going on with the wars. There's not just one war in this world, and there's actually worse atrocities that are going on that what mainstream media directs our attention to. Remember, if you can control the thinking of a society, you control that society. And the media is connected with the governments and the corporations. They're all part of the same the same entity, if you will. we have to be in our heart. When you're in your heart, you can't be programmed. Hearts do not get programmed. Only brains do. Only the subconscious gets programmed. Programming is not a bad thing. Programming keeps us alive, but program yourself. Don't let them program you. And because we've all been programmed already, learn how to deprogram. It starts by being in the heart. The more in the heart you are, the more you'll clear all this other stuff. You can't be programmed when you're actively in the heart frequency. And I'll put an underlying in the word actively. You can't have a negative thought. You can't hate. You can't hold a grudge against somebody that did you wrong in the past while you're actively in that heart frequency. So the idea is the more you do work with the heart, the more you expand your heart, the more resistant you become to programming, the more resistant you become to having negative thoughts about yourself and other people. So this is a real worry energy. I mean, the moon card's very psychic also. So I think a lot of you are going to really start to tap into higher levels of psychic ability. But we have to, when we find ourselves in worry and fear, do a little long, deep breathing. Inhale, love, light, deep into your heart. Exhale, release that fear back to the universe. 3 minutes is all it takes. 3 minutes, 3 times a day is a great maintenance for keeping your vibration happy and healthy, whole and complete. So if you start to feel that, you get, troubling news. This may come for some of you in your personal life or whatever. Remember that, and that's going to help a lot. So anytime we feel worry or fear of the unknown or whatever, once you connect with the heart, you connect with the brain, and you connect with source, then you're not alone. I mean, I live by myself. It's come up in my readings recently about a possible romance or somebody coming into my life, and in my mind I say that would be great, but this would have to be like a really special, unique, like a soulmate situation, because I love my life the way it is. It's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But then again, if spirit is saying it's time to go back into a new spiritually based romantic relationship, hey, I'm not that old. So anyhow, so that's, so the moon card sometimes it dwells on things, sometimes it dwells on the past. It also, on another note, it's a 9 Mars rule numerology, even though it's the moon, it's key 18. And in a way, that energy can be about action, but you might find that you're leading people through the darkness more than usual. And the symbology of the moon, when the moon's full, like, you don't need a flashlight to walk around because the moonlight illuminates things. And the thing is, with the moonlight, the colors look more like white, black, or gray, in moonlight, or silvery. So the way you see reality through moonlight is very different than the way you see it through sunlight. And the colors are different, the shapes look different, and all that stuff. And I think you really start to see more of the perspective of the way things really are, because everything's energy. This is all an illusion. This form and everything really doesn't exist. They're different, just bandwidth frequencies of energies, and our human operating systems, our senses, our nervous system, our eyes, ears, and nose assimilate the energy and create an image, of form that we can relate to as humans. But if you understand that that's really an illusion, then you start to open up to the truth, basically. So the moon, can also, dispel that, partly through its rulership of the sign Pisces, and Neptune is the ruling planet of Pisces. Neptune is about illusions and delusions, as well as meditation, psychism, spirituality, and so forth. The 5 of Wands, fives change things. Fives are about freedom in numerology and about change. And there may be some clashes that go on in the world around us, within your own immediate community. But that again, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. When I'm looking at this card, I'm seeing a lot of power, but I'm seeing a lot of disorganization. And I think the message for us is to cultivate our power. Not to let it run wild. It's like if you have like a big bonfire like outside, and it's starting to catch leaves or whatever, put rocks around it to contain that fire. Make it a controlled burn. And I think that that's part of the message here also. this is very powerful, but it's a little bit chaotic and disorganized. So I think a lot of us, maybe this is for me, but I think a lot of us really need to ground and center. So we want to go into our sacral and our root chakra also. I talk a lot about heart-brain coherence, but if your lower triangle is weak, you're not going to really access the frequencies of the heart. Your lower triangle being your root, your sacral, and your solar plexus chakras. So you want to build that lower triangle. See, we are in bodies for a reason. Our job is to bring spirit into this physical form so that we can all evolve together, basically. So build the lower triangle ground. I think that's one of the underlying messages of that also. And again, you may have some conflict. I think tempers are going to flare very easily this week for whatever reason. I think, those of you that are in relationships, really be kind and loving to your partners rather than reactive. I'm a very reactive person. I know better and I'll still react sometimes. But the idea is if you get emotionally charged, what happened? The hormones race through our bodies and kind of control our behavior, basically. So emotions are really powerful. What we want to do is be aware of those emotions. Don't try to suppress. You'll have better luck stopping a speeding freight train than trying to stop your emotion, because it's energy emotion that releases hormones in the body. Very, very powerful stuff. So we want to learn to be okay and sit with that for a minute rather than react. And then once we allow the physiological reactions to kind of settle down, that's the time to address whatever it is, whatever the problem is, whatever the conflict is, or whatever. So non-reactivity, practice that this week. So I have a cards do I have with me. So I make Angel Tarot. Thank you, Jody. We have two Jodys. I think both Jodys are on, but thank you thank you both Jodys, because you're both amazing people. But thank you to Jody. I think it's Jody P, right? Who was kind enough to gift me this for my birthday. So then I'm a Native American deck too, but we always use that one. All right, here we go. We got the Ace of Wands, new beginnings. Wands again, fire. I think a lot of you are going to have some really amazing ideas. And it's interesting because I pulled this. I got 4 cards. When I charge my deck, could I do that? And I connect with it. I pulled 4 cards: the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups, the Lovers, and the Star card were the 4 cards I got. I'm like, interesting. That could be romantic, but then again, that could be energy and spirit. And that Ace of Cups or the Ace of Wands, sometimes that's just like the beginning of a natural process in your life. That's ruled. That's not ruled, but what's the right word? Oh God, I need water. When I can't think of words, that's when I need water. Influence or direct your life anyways. So good time to start a new project. Aces are new beginnings. Wands are energy. Wands can represent career projects, stuff like that. If you have an idea, put it into action. Start to get the wheels turning this week. I think that's part of the message. I think a lot of you will have new beginnings, and nice little angel there. Looks like she's out in space somewhere. And then there's this angelic presence, kind of bringing the light, it almost feels like bringing the central sun. Oh wow! And there's that triangle I was talking about in the beginning, right here. So interesting. So we'll leave this one out for a second. Let me. Oh, good. I have my Native American cards. Okay. I see my Native American guides. There's 2 that I'm aware of to come in. So what do we get here? This is what the card looks like. Maiden of Vessels. So that's the Page of Cups would be what this equal. So we have a little bit of nice water energy. So what I need to do, put my eyes on. Oh, very good. Hi, I can see you now. The Maiden of Vessels, and she's got, I don't know what that is on her head. It looks like, I think it's a big vessel is what it is, and yeah. So let me see. What is this trying to tell me? One message that I feel like make sure to be yourself. It's important that we maintain our childlikeness. That doesn't mean to be childish. I mean, I have a little running joke. People ask me my age. I'll say, "Well, do you want my chronological age, my mental age, or the age that I act?" Because these are rapidly descending numbers. So keep your humor, keep your childlike nature, play and enjoy. But I'm seeing the vessels on the head, the vessels open, receiving from Great Spirit, right? Receiving information, receiving messages, receiving love and guidance. So allow yourself to be an open vessel. Don't just reject things based on your programming and conditioning. Be open, and then you can absorb what is useful. This is a Bruce Lee quote: "Absorb what is useful." He was an early mentor because I came into spirituality through martial arts training, and I even got to do a few seminars with his top student, Danny Nosanto, back in the 80s. So that was a good while ago. Uh, but his thing was he didn't believe in conventional styles of martial arts. He believed in developing the individual and develop and finding your own individual styles within a system of martial arts, which is very different because a system is basically more like a roadmap, which allows for individuality, whereas a style is kind of like an adherence to a rigidness, basically. That's in martial arts lingo, and anyhow. So yeah, so it's like absorb the information that's coming through. This is aligns a lot with the moon card. I think a lot of you are going to be getting a lot of spiritual downloads. I think those of you, the people especially, although not limited to, but especially that are doing the work with us, with the master teachers that are working with our frequencies to keep us safe, grounded, through accelerated growth and awakening. You're probably the ones that are starting to get more messages from spirit, because we're at this phase of our work together with them where we're opening a lot with spirit and the crown chakra, and we're coming into our more of our crystalline bodies and our light bodies now. So we do this here on the channel. In fact, there's a beautiful Thanksgiving one that I did a few days ago with heart brain coherence. So we actually taught you how to do heart brain coherence, which I think by 2030 is going to be one of the biggest spiritual practices under the sun. Honestly, it's that powerful, and it's all based on ancient teachings, anyways. So practice things like that. I think that's part of the message also. All right. A butterfly. I like that. Yes. I'm such a reactive. Oh my God. Oh my God. You don't want to go there. But through my spiritual training, I'm so much better now. It comes out every now and then, but for the most part, I'm a lot better. So let's do. Well, I have my medicine cards. So let's see what through the animals, wisdom of the animals, what we have for the week. This is the one we got. And we got, this is one I haven't picked yet. Antelope. I don't think we've gotten antelope yet. There's the antelope. Hello. um, what do antelopes represent? I don't know enough about antelopes to even know, where to begin to analyze what the meaning of that is. But the good news is I have the book. 37, antelope. Action. And we had a lot of wand, right? Wand is the suit of action. Run, antelope, teach me of action and its pace. Quickly, quickly, so I may run with grace. That's this little poem here I'm reading. And when time was just beginning and the tribe of man was small, antelope saw that the two-leggeds were naked, hungry, and in danger of extinction. The ancestors would soon vanish from Mother Earth if action were not taken. Antelope took action and came into the camp, calling all the two-leggeds together for counsel. Great mystery sent me to teach you a lesson. The lesson is to do. You have no need to be fearful if you know what to do, and then you do it, Antelope said. And what shall we do? Asked the people. If you are naked and cold, you should kill me and take my coat to keep you warm. It is my gift to you. Do it. We will, said the people, but what of hunger? We are starving. What can we do? If you are hungry, you should kill me and take my flesh, for it will nourish you and make you strong. It is my gift to you and a part of my evolution. It is my service. Do it. Enough said, as they say. Let me move on to. I love that. I'm getting chills just reading that message. All right, so these are our sacred geometry cards, and this is where I get to give Amy of Elevated Intuition, Spirituality, and Tarot a shout out because she got me this deck for my birthday, and I've been working with them, and I love them. So amazing. So the idea, I mean, I'm using this more as divination, but the real way to work with these is you really connect with the sacred geometry and absorb that energy, and then it's like a download of information that you get from doing that. But it's okay. Stopping my thoughts, taking these things off. Okay, just kidding. Okay, I'm good. This is the one. Thank you. I was in the neighborhood, but I wasn't getting. Ooh, solar plexus chakra. Wow, very fiery too. Fire is a theme today. Yes, it is. Ace of Wands, all these wands, fire. So beautiful, beautiful sacred geometry here, right? And this is for the solar plexus chakra, number 3. Solar plexus chakra gives us our will and our strength to go on. And, I mean, it's no chakra is an island. It's all part of a system, of an energetic system. But if you isolate the different centers and what they do, this is about our internal sun. That's why it's the solar plexus. It's our internal sun, and it's our will. It's our strength, and we need to cultivate our will. That's very important. And that's why I say develop these lower chakras, and then the heart, it almost like expands on its own. And then when you augment that with heart brain coherence, then you start to develop the upper chakras, because the heart is right in between the spiritual chakras and the physical chakras, basically. So and the message here is the frequency of the solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, our willpower, as we are knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. So there you have it. So that's our sacred geometry message. So work with the solar plexus chakras. That will counteract that tendency for fear or for worry. And sometimes a lot of people develop their upper chakra, they become very psychic and sensitive, but not their lower chakras. And that's when you become like too much of an empath, where you can become really the victim of narcissists, and things like that, as a result, and other things. So we want to be balanced and everything. So anyway, last but not least, we have our angel message. I'm going to leave this one out also. Actually, I'm going to eat breakfast once I'm done, and I'll look at these cards some more. See what else. It's often what I do is like, oh darn it, I should have said this when I was live. It's usually my version of looking at the cards after I'm done. But anyhow, Clearing mind again. Calling on the angels. We love you, angels. Thank you. Thank you. And we got Athena, which she's pops up a lot. She's about empowerment. And that's also very much aligned with that solar plexus energy about empowerment. It is safe for you to be powerful. You know how to be powerful in a loving way that benefits others as well as yourself. And I'm getting it. I got the memo. New Year's Eve 2019, doing my ceremony. Spirit comes through. Start a YouTube channel. The world's gonna need it. And I thought about it for a second. I'm like, are you freaking crazy? Have you seen me on camera? What the heck? And honestly, I mean, I took obviously I accepted the challenge and I did it, and I'm a lot. I mean, I'm not 100% there yet, honestly, but I think whatever insecurity I have, I'm covering them up well. I'll put it that way. But I'll tell you, I did my first video, just a short video for Instagram in February. Like I watched myself on camera. I just wanted to cry. And I think I yelled at Spirit also. It's like, why are you telling me to do this? I suck on camera, blah, 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 this and the other thing. But I reprogrammed my mind and the rest is history. So, and the idea, okay, getting back to why I brought that up in context with this card, the idea is most of us fear being powerful. Because what happens if we're powerful, it's like we become a target. People want to bring the powerful ones down. We're subject to more scrutiny. And it's so much easier to be small and to be invisible than to be more in the forefront. Being on YouTube, I mean, yeah, we're talking about, I mean, I've been here 2 years. We're talking about a channel with 4,000 subscribers. I mean, on YouTube, until you have 20,000 subscribers, you're a small channel, basically. And the real top creators have over 1 million. But that said, I'm still putting myself out there like every day. And a lot of the reason that people, and that I'm thinking Marianne Williamson's quote that from the channel for A Course in Miracles, that it's not being powerless that you fear, it's being powerful beyond measure. And that's because there's more responsibility, you're under more scrutiny. It's like it's taken me, because I'm a very sensitive soul. When they talk about empaths, it's like yeah, they wrote the book about me. And the one thing that I hate is just negativity, like negative comments, like you're full of BS or this that, and the other thing. But I go out there, like I do these videos, I go to other YouTube channels that I like, I comment my wisdom. That's how we create community on YouTube, or one of the ways. And I'd have to be okay with criticism and negativity, and it doesn't stop me. So it is safe to be powerful. And when you're in the heart center, none of that stuff's going to matter anymore anyways. So I think that's a beautiful way to end today.